9, 10. Anybody out there that is listening yet? Probably not, since I haven't gone live there. Okay, we're going live now with Facebook. YouTube will go live automatically, and okay, it's a level check. Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer here, testing out the levels we have for all the different locations. And you might hear a little scratching, so I'm trying to manipulate the mic on my lapel so I don't have to hold it. All right. Okay, it's a nasty evening out there. It was a nasty day, and we are again talking about pretty good looking weather as far as travel goes for Christmas, but zero chance of a white Christmas this year. Okay, it is 7:15. Hi, everybody. I'm meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer, coming to you from the streaming center at Fox 19 Now. Take a look at this. Woo! Not a nice looking evening out there. As a matter of fact, what we have coming our way is a little bit more drizzle, sprinkle activity, or a few wet flakes of snow. But overall, we don't have anything that's going to cause a problem. So if you go out this evening, you're going to be looking for wind chills in the 20s. And we are talking about a little bit of sprinkle activity, nothing significant and nothing that will cause problems on the roads. As a matter of fact, over the weekend, the weather looks dry, but it just looks chilly. And if you're heading to the Bengals game, I've got the specific forecast for you on that. So again, we are again talking about a pretty chilly night out there. Wind chills in the 20s. Overnight, actual temperatures will drop into the 20s, and tomorrow morning, we're looking at a few spots with wind chills in the teens. Okay, so temperature is 34 at the International Airport, down 1 from last hour, but it's hanging around 30 to 35 all day long. If we take a look at our camera that is on our tower over in South Fairmont to the northwest of the city, you can see the city. You can see it's kind of hazy looking, and you can also see the reflection of the lights on the clouds, so you know it's a cloudy evening out there. And this is our look, if we look from Mount Auburn toward the northwest, so we're looking out over Norwood. You can't actually see Norwood there, but if you go straight through the center of the screen in that direction, you'd end up in a couple miles over the city of Norwood. Temperatures right now in the 30s around the tri-state. As a matter of fact, what we have, again, is wind chills in the 20s, and the temperatures have not really moved much right on through the day. And I forgot to put the Turfway Park camera in there, so I'm loading it right now, and we'll go back to that here in just a second. It'll pop up. Wanted to keep an eye on what's going on at Turfway Park. Hit the wrong button, and let me tell you, now we'll see it. Now we'll go full screen. And they are racing out there tonight. It's 34 degrees, and that's right next door. You can, at the International Airport where the temperature's measured, and you can see that we have people out there, and also see some drops on the lens cover. But additionally, with that wind chill, it's pretty chilly for people that are die-hard race fans. Again, it's not too bad. But let me see if we can zoom in and play around with the camera a little bit here and let you see what's going on. It's kind of nice to sometimes watch the horses run. Okay, let me zoom in now. And then I'll have to tilt it down a little bit. Ooh, and you can see there's not any big raindrops. It's kind of misty and drizzly out there, so it's not very nice out this evening. And if I tilt the camera down and then pan to the left a little bit, we'll see what's going on at the end of the track there. Oh, that's not the starting gate, is it? So we'll have to see if we can find the starting gate, because usually that's the way you locate the start of the race, is finding the starting gate. All right. Well, don't see it there. Oh, okay, now you know it's windy out there. We just saw the flag, the 3 flags there by the lake. Okay, so you can see the American flag, the Kentucky flag, and I don't know what the other one is. And if we take a look at the water, you can see the water's being blown by that pretty stiff wind. So there's a darn good wind chill out there. And let's see, you know, they might not even be going yet. I don't know what the schedule is. I ought to take some time and look up what the racing schedule is. Okay, there's the tote board at Turfway Park. It's right there. And if we tilt up a little bit more, we can see we can pan to the far side of the track. I'm trying to find, some action here. But I don't even see the starting gate. Whoa, what is going on? Maybe they're just getting ready, and it's like I said, maybe it's a schedule thing that they're not ready to race yet, and they don't start to 8 o'clock or something. But don't see many people. Just see a little bit of activity out there on the track. Okay, and there it is. There's a starting gate right there. Okay. Okay, so we'll, and of course they go out to the right. I'll get it adjusted how I want, zoom out a little bit, then we'll get on with weather. But I just kind of like to watch this. I'm not a real big horse racing fan, and I don't go there. I have only gone to horse races like maybe once in my life. But it is kind of fun to watch, and they're amazing animals. Okay, so they are racing tonight, and if we can see them coming up, we'll take a look at that later on. All right, now let's get on with our discussion of weather. There you see the temperatures in the 30s, wind chills, except for Portsmouth and Chillicothe in the 20s. Nobody's dipped into the teens yet. And there you see, and if you look at this, you can barely see just a few things right there. So we do have a little bit of sprinkle activity still along this right here. There's a little bit of rain, snow mix, mainly rain now, mainly from Clinton into Highland, northern parts of Brown, scattered across northern Claremont, and this will head to the south and east and move out of the area, and there's just really nothing else coming our way. But there's enough moisture out there, enough instability with the cold air moving in, that we may see a flake, a flurry or two, maybe a sprinkle or two for the next several hours. And that's what the model says here. Now notice, this is by 10 a.m. Sunday. We're still mostly cloudy in Cincinnati, but it clears out for the Bengals game. This is by 9:30 p.m., so it looks like a sunny to partly cloudy day down at Paycor Stadium. And then on Tuesday, we have another chance of a little bit of rain. Now Tuesday is Christmas Eve, and so this is a little front that's coming through with warm enough temperatures that it looks like it's going to be all rain. And then on Christmas Day, this particular model is saying that we don't see any rainfall at all. Excuse me. However, if we go back and you look there at Cincinnati, there's one up along the Mississippi River. That system may very well bring us some rain. But I wanted to point out to you here, so this one's coming north and east will bring the showers in for Christmas Day, because this is 7:40 a.m. on Christmas. What I wanted to point out to you is the biggest problem for travel is going to be here in the Pacific Northwest, from San Francisco up through Portland on up into the Seattle area. Now just watch the number of storms that we have coming on shore. There's the first one right there. That is on that's on Christmas Day itself. That's 12:25. So they're going to get rain. And it changes to snow in the mountains. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably 7 different systems coming in with an atmospheric river. So probably flooding rains, lots and lots of snow in the higher elevations, terrible mountain driving conditions, and really not good for air travel. So if you're going anywhere else in the country, not a real big issue as far as weather goes. However, if you're going to the Pacific Northwest or anywhere from San Francisco north, you may end up with some big problems. Now, the sun set this evening at 5:19. That's about 2 hours, 4 minutes ago. We're down to 34 now. We should be about 32 by 11 p.m. for tomorrow morning. Roads should dry out. It'll be cloudy and gray. Temperatures mid-20s to low 30s. Wind chill from 22 to 30. Okay, here is the new extended outlook. Now, I've been talking about this all week, that they put the 3 to 4 week outlook out, and it's doing kind of what we thought, or what we've been talking about. So first of all, this is the day 6 to day 10 outlook, which takes us out to the 30th of December. So coast to coast, looks like warmer than normal through the end of the year. Into the first of the year, this has got us warmer than normal. However, there's going to be a big change. So remember, this is the average temperature for that stretch of time. So if we end up with really warm weather at the beginning of this period, from the 28th to the 3rd, and then just slightly colder than normal weather at the end, it still could average out warmer than normal. So this is a pretty big chunk of time, but it says that we don't have any major cold air outbreak coming our way through the 3rd. Now here's the 3 to 4 week outlook temperature-wise. Whoa, what a change. And remember, I've been talking about what happens during a La Nina winter. A La Nina winter, the jet stream usually dips southward like this, right through Ohio and off to the Atlantic. It kind of keeps the cold air to the north. It keeps the very warm air to the south, and we kind of oscillate between a little bit below normal, a little bit above normal. However, when you see a cold temperature pattern like this, Climate Prediction Center is thinking the jet stream will do this right through here, and we could have some significantly cold weather from the 4th through the 17th of January. And I've been talking about that all along. It's one of those things you can't give specifics to because you just don't have information on that. But one of the things I've been saying is that if that La Nina does not form, or it's very, very weak, we will probably go into a pattern that's not too much fun. And because of this jet stream is way south of us, and this could lead to some significantly cold weather. It could lead to some snowy periods in the first half or a little bit past the first half of January. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. This is not looking like a La Nina winter as we've been talking about. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the precipitation pattern. They've kind of reversed themselves again, saying drier than normal through the 30th, drier than or a little bit wetter than normal from the 28th through the 3rd. Okay, and then if you look at the 3 to 4 week, they've got it a lot drier than normal, and that makes sense because if you have that, you saw that cold air like way down here, that's all because the jet stream is coming way down like this. It's bringing dry, cold Canadian and Arctic air into the tri-state, and that usually leads to below normal precipitation. Doesn't mean no precipitation, but it means as that jet stream dips southward, that cold air also is fairly dry air, so this is where you get that drier than normal precipitation pattern, and this is definitely not a La Nina pattern around the tri-state. So we're looking at, we may be looking at some significantly cold weather as we head into the middle of January, and what kind of use is that information to you? Let's say you've been meaning to get your furnace looked at because it's limping along or it's getting old. You may want to, before we get into that kind of weather, you may want to have it looked at just so that you can stay warm, stop pipes from freezing, things like that. Again, no specifics yet, but it's certainly looking like we're in for a pretty cold beginning to middle of January, maybe even longer than that. Okay, but again, just like everything when you forecast 3 to 4 weeks out, it could be big changes. Okay, your 7-day forecast. Excuse me a second, I've got to take another swig of Diet Mountain Dew. Okay, your 7-day forecast looks like this: 26 tonight, 33 tomorrow. Winter begins. That's astronomical winter at 4:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, meteorological winter is December, January, and February because it's better centered on the coldest part of the year. Astronomical is based just on astronomy, obviously, and that's the traditional winter that we use. Bengals Sunday looks mostly sunny, a low of 19, a high of 31. If you've watched the past few days, the forecast for Bengals Sunday has not changed. We still have a temperature around 20 for beginning of tailgating, 27 for kickoff, halftime at 31. All right. Monday looks like 22 and 43 with clouds increasing. Showers in the forecast for Tuesday. That's Christmas Eve, so I think maybe holding off in the morning and coming in the afternoon and evening. So Christmas Eve showers, Christmas Day showers in the forecast, up to 49 degrees. So that pretty much says no for that white Christmas. Isolated showers back on Thursday. Kwanzaa begins on Thursday with a high of 53, 55 with isolated showers back in the forecast on Friday. So for Bengal Sunday, now for Christmas Day, the forecast looks like this. Okay, hey, there's Santa Claus. All right, so for Christmas Day, a high of 49 degrees. Periods of generally light rain in the forecast. Travel weather good. Maybe a little slow because of rain, but certainly nothing that can crop up during winter that'll be a problem. Then Thursday, 53, 55 for Friday. Here's beyond the 7-day forecast. Okay, high temperatures above normal until we get into Thursday and Friday, the 2nd and 3rd. Each day, or almost each day, a chance of a few showers. And of course, New Year's Eve, high temperature around 50, 44 for New Year's Day. It looks like we could see showers both days. But good news is, because the last night of the year you want snow and ice is New Year's Eve. And New Year's Eve looks good for all the people welcoming in the new year. Okay, now here's beyond the 7-day forecast, the 14-day stretch. So we go to the 7-day and the 14-day high and low temperatures. And there you see the warming trend and cooling trend. And as you look at this, you can see that we end up going way above normal here. Past Christmas into the end of the year. And then as we get to the 1st, we're still above normal, but we drop below normal on the high temperature side on the 2nd and the 3rd. And then remember what that map showed from the Climate Prediction Center said beyond that, colder than normal into the 17th. Same thing on the low temperature side. We don't drop below normal. We get just to 1 degree above normal by the time we get to the 3rd. So get ready. It's looking like a cold couple of weeks coming our way as we head past the 3rd of January and on into the middle of the month. And part of that is if it was a La Nina pattern, and remember that's the water along the equator is colder than normal, and that disrupts the entire global circulation system and leaves us with wetter than normal weather and kind of about normal temperature-wise. Opposite of last winter, which was an El Nino. But if that La Nina is not forming, and it certainly doesn't look like it's been in any big rush right now, we'll probably end up with some significantly cold weather, but less than normal precipitation. And again, if we have significantly cold weather, colder than normal weather, and we, even though we have precipitation less than normal, that doesn't rule out some snow situations. So keep your eyes open. We may have to amend that, but right now it's looking like from the end of the 1st week of January on into the middle of the month or later, we may have some real winter weather coming into the tri-state. Okay, time for Facebook comments and all that other stuff that we do. Let me see here. Oh boy, I tell you what, I am just not feeling really good right now. I don't know why. I just think I'm ready for a weekend. That's all it is. All right, so let's go to Facebook. Molly Purcell Pollock. Hi, Steve, she says. They got some snow this month throughout today, throughout the day. Can't believe that it's going to be such a warm Christmas, and hope I had a good Friday. I've had a great Friday. And when will we see our blizzard? I hope we don't. But if we do, the best chance, the way it's looking, would be mid-January into mid-February at this point. And that is just an educated guess. That's not a forecast. So it's not going to happen before the 1st of the year. All right. Melissa Rayborn Brown. Can't wait for spring. I know a lot of people are already saying that, Melissa. Jeff Beechler, he said, bring on the snow. Well, Jeff, one thing that we need to get snow is cold weather, and it looks like that's coming in January. So that increases the chances of snow, even though we have less than normal precipitation for that 3 to 4 week stretch. Okay. All right. So those are all the comments for right now. Let me, and it's Friday, so a lot of people are streaming their favorite programs or whatever. So let me go back over the forecast, and I'll check for comments again at the end of that, and then we'll call it a Friday. Meteorologist Ashley Smith will be in tomorrow morning for the show on Fox 19, and at 10:15 she does her streaming weather show, both Saturday and Sunday, and then Ethan Emery is in at 6 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday for his streaming show, and he does the late shows. So we will be represented, and I'm working all week next week. And so right now, I think each day we'll have the 7:15 streaming show. So I'll be able to give you better information about how it's developing as we head into January. And right now, we've only got a 6 p.m. show. The schedule's kind of fluctuating. We've only got a 6 p.m. show, so we should have the 7:15 streaming weather show. Don't think there's any problem with that. All right, let's go back. Okay, we'll start off with the evening forecast. All right, and so the evening forecast looks like this. We're looking at a low of 34, or right now 34, and then temperatures dropping to 32 by 11 p.m. Overnight, roads will dry out, skies cloudy and gray for the morning, temperatures in the mid-20s to low 30s, and wind chills in the 22 to 30 degree range. And again, here is the Climate Prediction Center's take on the weather, or actually the average temperature between the 26th and 30th of the month. And that is warmer than normal, significantly warmer than normal. And we saw that in the graph, and I'll show you that in the graph in just a minute if you joined us late. The 8 to 14-day outlook, not much change at all, still warmer than normal coast to coast. That includes us. That takes us into the new year. Can you believe it? 2025. And I'm trying to think, geez, 2025, that's pretty amazing. 25 years ago, when we got into the turn of the century, I was only in my 40s. Geez, time goes fast. Okay, now weeks 3 to 4 temperature outlook. This is the one that's only updated once a week, and this was updated today, every Friday afternoon. And there you see it. That is a complete departure from what we've seen, and I've been looking at the models all week, and I keep thinking, oh boy, here we go. We were hoping on a La Nina winter without a lot of massive cold air outbreaks, but this is the kind of pattern that brings much colder than normal weather on into the area. Okay, that means the jet stream's dipping southward like this, okay, and not only would it be colder than normal, but because the big cold air masses are so cold, they can't evaporate a lot of water, so they generally have low humidity. That means not a lot of moisture for precipitation. And so what happens here is you also get colder than normal and drier than normal weather. So this could mean that as we head past the first couple days of January, we're going into a cold pattern, which may mean higher heating bills, may mean if your furnace has got some weaknesses, it may show that. Just may mean a lot of stuff. And for farmers, it may mean chopping ice if you have a pond for your cattle. So that is the pattern change there. And I tell you, it's what I've kind of been hinting at and expecting if the La Nina pattern continues to not develop, okay? And that's kind of what's going on here. All right, so then precipitation-wise, now we stay a little bit below normal in this case. We go to, is that correct? Am I looking at, see, I'm red-green colorblind, and so sometimes these colors can really fool me. So it's not, sorry. The last time we went through this, I mentioned this is a little bit above normal in precipitation through the end. That's why I couldn't figure out what was going on. So through the 30th of December, a little bit above normal precipitation-wise. The 8 to 14-day outlook still has us a little bit above normal precipitation-wise, but look at the big change here as that jet stream dips southward and we go to below normal temperatures. There's a large area over much of the United States where it's drier than normal, and you might wonder why this little dip is here along the Great Lakes, okay? All right. What's going to happen here is if that jet stream pattern continues to guide those cold, dry Canadian air masses into the United States, the cold, dry air will dominate this region, but up here you've got the Great Lakes, and so this is allowing for quite a bit of lake effect snowfall. Each time one of those cold air masses would come down, you get lake effect snowfall on the southern shore of Lake Superior. That's where Catherine Bodak grew up, right about here. You'd get lake effect snowfall all over the area. So that's what they're planning on. They're planning on the cold, dry air dominating here, but because of the presence of the Great Lakes, that would increase the lake effect snowfall. Ask Joe, sometimes if you ever meet Joe Daneman, ask him about lake effect snowfall, because he went to Syracuse, and they get a lot of that too. So that is what all that means. That big dry area with the scoop out for the Great Lakes is because of the Arctic air and lake effect snowfall. Ooh, boy. All right. So here's your 7-day forecast one more time. A low of 26, a high of 33 on Saturday morning at 4:21. Astronomical winter begins. Looking at a low of 19, a high of 31 for Bengals Sunday. And if you take a look at Bengals Sunday, 20 or so as tailgating begins, 27 for kickoff, 31 for halftime. If you've ever been to one of the tailgating events, nothing's going to stop them from partying. And so those temperatures, they'll just bundle up and they'll enjoy it. They always do. I'm always amazed when I go through there on my way to the stadium to do some work for the Bengals. Okay, clouds increase on Monday. Tuesday, Christmas Eve, showers in the forecast. Wednesday, Christmas Day, we've got showers in the forecast. Here's a specific forecast for Christmas Day. The shower activity on Christmas Day is generally going to be light. Okay, 49 degrees for the high, so periods of generally light rain. Travel weather looks good, although it may be a little slow because of rainfall. There will be no ice and snow to contend with. No, worrying about getting stuck in the middle of the highway in a blizzard, nothing like that for Christmas or New Year's for that matter. All right, then we go into Thursday, which is 26th. We're talking about the first day of Kwanzaa, 53, 55 on Friday. And then beyond the 7-day forecast, high temperatures well above normal to the first, which falls to about normal. Or actually, it's still a little bit above normal, and then going below normal for the second and the third, and low temperatures do basically the same thing. But most of the precipitation in that time period is rainfall, and again, it does not look like any big deal for travel for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Okay, then the 7-day plus, here is the high temperature and the low temperature forecast for that 2-week stretch. If you see the normal high temperature line and the normal low temperature line, we're going to begin to cool off. So we get to the end of the year, we get to the January 1st, we're still a little bit above normal, and then we go below normal on the high side and we reach normal on the low side. And that's just the beginning of that trend where we saw that map with a lot of blue and cold air moving on into the tri-state. Okay, I'll take another look here and see what kind of Facebook comments we have. Let's see. So Jeff Beechler said earlier, bring on the snow. He said, I don't feel like Christmas when it's not cold. You know what, Jeff, I was amazed because when I was in high school, after my freshman year at Moeller, my dad got his job transferred him to Los Angeles, and we lived in Orange County. And I thought, people probably don't celebrate Christmas out here. Well, I mean, I went to the beach in shorts and a t-shirt on Christmas Day and went swimming in the ocean. Now, if you don't know much about the ocean water out in California, it is really cold. The ocean water is just really cold because of something called upwelling. In other words, the general wind is southward along the coast. That wind turns to the right and pulls water off, and the cold water wells up beneath it. And I was shocked. I couldn't believe how cold the water is out there. And that's why when you see movies in Southern California and surfers, they're always wearing wetsuits because it is cold. Year-round it's cold out there. Okay, so I'll work on the snow, Jeff. And if it's not cold, it doesn't feel like Christmas. And Jeff says, hope you have a great weekend and a great Christmas. And next time you're on the air at 10, tell everyone I said Merry Christmas, LOL. Okay, Jeff, if I can remember. I have trouble remembering that. If I remember, I'll mention that to everybody. Thank you for joining me. Have yourself a nice night. Have yourself a nice weekend. Get your Christmas shopping done. And I should be on each and every night next week as we head through the Christmas holiday. Have yourself a good weekend.